What's up guys, James here from Boot Wizard Boot Reviews, and today we're going to be looking at the third tier takedown model in the brand new Phantom GT line. So this new boot that's built for kind of agility with some mercurial speed-like vibes, and I've brought it to this lovely, quiet, idyllic spot with not a lot happening. Makes sense, right? Kind of. What's up guys, James here from Boot Wizard Boot Reviews, and yes, it is Phantom GT Academy Day, so if you are looking to pick up the newest Nike boot, but you're looking to do it without spending an absolute fortune, you can have a look at the Phantom GT Academy and work out whether this is the boot for you. Even at its reduced price point, is it good value for money? Cheap boots, not always good value for money boots. So we're going to investigate whether it is good value for money today, whether you should go for this, whether you should go for something else in the Nike lineup, and is this better than what it replaces? The Phantom Venom Academy and the Phantom Vision Academy. The Venom in particular, a boot that I was very fond of. So do remember to like the video, enjoy the gorgeous views, get subscribed to Boot Wizard, and let's find out if the Phantom GT Academy is worth your money. We'll start with the upper, and honestly, I was kind of immediately disappointed when I pulled this out and I discovered that they've gone away from the mesh-based synthetic that they've been using on the previous Phantom Vision and Phantom Venom lines. Now, I will admit that the Phantom Vision Academy was not a boot that I generally recommended or generally liked, but the Venom Academy, I thought, for this price point, was pretty much one of the best you could get, definitely better than the Mercurial line. One of the reasons for that was the Venom Academy had this mesh-based synthetic, which was very soft, felt more premium than its price tag would allude to. However, right here, we've gone for basically the same synthetic as that Vapor 13 Academy, which isn't bad, but it's a little bit stiff, it's certainly a little bit thicker, and it's a bit cheap feeling. On the whole, for the price point that we're talking here, it's not bad, but they've definitely lent more towards that Vapor 13 Academy vibes as opposed to what it replaces, and personally I do think that that is a bad thing. They'd have been better off sticking with what the predecessors had here. Continuing the comparison with that Vapor 13 Academy, because the synthetic is fundamentally the same, you'll notice that the shape is also very, very similar, but here you do get the GT generative texture, which is not the generative texture. But when you're comparing it to that Vapor 13 Academy, it actually does add a bit of extra grip and texture to the upper when compared with that boot, which I can sometimes describe as being fairly slick. That's not the case here. This does help. So don't expect anything like you're going to get from that elite level boot, and it's frankly not even as good as you're going to get from the Pro, but compared to the Vapor, it does add a little bit of extra texture, which is definitely a positive thing. Again, comparing to the Vapor 13 Academy, you can see here, there's a lot of comparisons here, and Nike have gone a very similar route with this boot, maybe due to the popularity of that Vapor 13 Academy. You get this standard lacing construction, so there's no one-piece upper here or anything like that, which is basically what you'd expect from an Academy level boot, but this is the low cut variation. So this isn't the DF version. I've picked up the low cut for two main reasons. One, the DF version I think looks ugly. It just has an additional bit of kind of neoprene. It's not flying it, it's not knitted at all, just neoprene up here, which basically looks a bit cheap. And so I think these look a huge amount better, and also the DF is simply more expensive. Get a very similar boot. I think this one is better, I think it looks better, and if you're going to buy the Academy level GT, this is the one to go for, not the DF model. So because it's not the DF model, you get this standard tongue construction with an off-center lacing system, which actually makes it look a reasonable amount like the other model. So, you know, okay, it's clearly not the Elite or the Pro, but I'd still say this is a pretty good looking boot, especially for the price point. But the off-center lacing system here does have some small issues in my opinion. It actually means that there's more material on this side of the boot, on the medial side of the boot, which can lead to a bit of excess material, and especially when these are on feet, which I will show you, you get some kind of really ugly bumps and creases in the boot. It's not necessarily detrimental to performance, but it also means it's not the most comfortable. I just think that with a nicer material, something like that mesh-based synthetic, instead of this straight up synthetic that they've got on the Vapor 13, this would have been better off, and we wouldn't have had quite so many issues here with creasing and excess material, which seems to be something that is an issue that runs throughout the GT line. On the inner of the boot, you've got the liner through the heel, which is very similar to what you're going to get on the Pro. I might even argue it's not quite as slick, despite the material not quite being as premium. It's a synthetic leather. And then running down into the boot, you've got that nylon liner again, exactly the same as the Pro, and it's one that I don't like. It's designed to give a bit of extra structure to the boot and for it not to stretch, which it does, but this is a takedown model. This does come in at €80, so don't expect to get the most locked in, most responsive sensation you're ever going to feel from a football boot, especially considering those upper models, the Pro and the Elite, don't really offer a hugely locked in, hugely responsive feeling anyway. So it's comfortable, it fits fine, but don't expect crazy lockdown and responsiveness at this price point from this boot. Let's take a look at the traction, and this is an area where I think Nike have done a really good job overall with the GT lineup. The traction, the sole plates, this kind of semi-split sole design with the strengthening bar has been excellent across the entire range, and it's not really any different here. Although this is different to the Elite, it is different to the Pro. There's a different setup on each boot, this being an MG setup, which means you can use this on firm natural grass and also on AG. So your warranty's grand and you'll be absolutely fine with this. The studs aren't too long, they're not super aggressive, but you still get a decent amount of purchase from these chevron bladed studs, and then the conicals are long enough and low enough profile to work on FG. I think it is a decent MG or multi-ground stud pattern, and if you're on a budget, what you want is a boot that's going to work in multiple areas. You don't want to have to buy a boot for firm ground, for artificial ground, all that kind of stuff. One pair of boots for all surfaces at this price point, I think, is a really solid idea. As far as boots at this price point go, this has actually got a really nice stability through the heel and the midfoot, and usually you find with lower end boots, the sole plate can be a bit stiff all the way along, or in the case of Adidas boots, they even fake the split sole design. It's not actually there. Here you get the split sole, you get the inner board, there's a good amount of flexibility in the forefoot, and overall the sole plate for this actually really impressed me. No, it's not mind-blowing, but we have to consider the price point for these, a third tier takedown, and I think this is a very good option. I just tried to get a really cool shot, and in order to do so stepped on the grass, which is a really bad idea. Here are my shoes. Yeah, we won't be seeing that shot today. My feet are so wet now. Oh God. Weight-wise, Nike have also played a blinder here. These are lighter than what you're gonna get from the Elite level version. So bad news if you bought the Elite, but if you're planning on buying the Academy, or you already have, which you can do by clicking the top link down in the description or in the comments, you're gonna be able to pick up a pretty lightweight boot. For this price point, it's really good. And if weight is something you're worried about, and you're looking at this price point, you're looking at these boots, don't be worried. These are really, really light. It's kind of weird, but hey, I'd take it. Value for money. Now, I don't think these are particularly bad value for money. They are a cheaper price point. However, at this price, I always have to say the same thing. Go back a couple of seasons, a couple of generations in most boots, and you're going to be able to pick up a top level boot at around 80 to 100 euros without too many problems. So I never really recommend them. However, I know that a lot of people want to pick up the newest boot, the most recent colorway, and this is a good way to do that if you are on a budget at the Academy level. It's Nike's most popular level of boots for a reason. So while yes, there is 100% better value for money out there, if you're looking for a takedown model at around this price point, you can do a lot worse than these. I think they're better than the Vapor 13 Academy for sure, and they're probably better than the Vision Academy, which I didn't particularly love. Better than the Venom Academy? Probably not. I did prefer the Venom Academy, which again, you can pick up on sale. I'll put links to these, some other options down in the comments so you can check out alternatives, or you can just pick these up. Why not? Like, I'm assuming that's why you're watching the video. You want to know if you should buy these. And finally, fit and comfort, and this is where the GT Academy actually bucks the trend of what I've been suggesting for the Pro and Elite versions. Both of those versions, I was unequivocal that you needed to go down half a size unless you had a particularly wide foot or the current boots you were wearing, you were right on the end of. Here, this is a true to size boot. Nice and straightforward, buy your regular size in the GT Academy, they will fit you fine. In terms of the width, you're not actually going to get as much width out of the Academy as you're going to the Pro or Elite variants, which is, again, a little bit strange. However, there's plenty of width here, and that standard tongue construction is going to do you no harm if you have a wide foot and you're trying to get these on. So, plenty of width for most foot types. It's going to fit most people. The standard tongue construction will make it a little bit easier to get on, not as wide as the Elite or the Pro, and 100% go true to size on these ones. And with that, let me know what you think. Which one of these three boots do you think offers the best value for money? Are we going Pro, Elite, or Academy? Now, if you want to see a comparison of all these three boots, you want a big rundown, maybe I'll throw the club in there as well. Make sure you hit the like button. That means that I know that's what you want. And if you have any other suggestions or any other questions, stick it down in the comments. I will get back to every single person. Of course, get subscribed to the channel. And if you do want to support us, you can do so by heading over to patreon.com/bootwizard or by clicking any of the links down in the comments if you're going to pick up any boots. I do make a small commission from those, so it helps the channel out a huge amount. But that's all from me here today. I hope you've had a good day. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll see you very soon.